every night as a commitment to read a chapter once a night, and I live stream it once a night to keep my commitment. So tonight we are on Leviticus 23 seasons and feasts. So here in just a little bit we will start reading that. So once we get a little bit of time in, and I think that's about enough. So here we go. We're going to go with Leviticus 23, seasons and feasts. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, these are my appointed feasts, the appointed feasts of the Lord, which you are to proclaim sacred assemblies. The Sabbath. There are 6 days when you may work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest. A day of sacred assembly. You are not to do any work wherever you live. It is a Sabbath to the Lord. The Passover and unleavened bread. There are these are the Lord's appointed feasts, the sacred assemblies you are to proclaim at their appointed times. The Lord's Passover begins at twilight on the 14th day of the first month. On the 15th day of that month, the Lord's feast of unleavened bread begins for 7 days. You must eat bread made without yeast. On the first day, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work for 7 days present an offering made to the Lord by fire. And on the seventh day, hold a sacred assembly and do no regular work. Next is first fruits. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you enter the land I am going to give you, and you reap its harvest, bring to the priest a sheaf of the first grain you harvest. He is to wave the sheaf before the Lord, so it will be accepted on your behalf. The priest is to wave it on the day after the Sabbath. On the day you wave the sheaf, you must sacrifice as a burnt offering to the Lord a lamb a year old without defect, together with its grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, an offering made to the Lord by fire, pleasing aroma, and its drink offering of a quarter of a hin of wine. You must not eating bread or roasted or new grain until the very day you bring this offering to your God. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generation to come wherever you live." Next up is the Feast of Weeks. From the day after the Sabbath, the day you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, count off 7 full weeks. Count off 50 days up to the day after the seventh Sabbath, and then present an offering of new grain to the Lord. From wherever you live, bring 2 loaves made of 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour, baked with yeast, as a wave offering of first fruit to the Lord. Present with this bread 7 male lambs, each a year old, without defect, 1 young bull and 2 rams. They will be burnt offerings to the Lord together with their grain offering and drink offering, an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Then sacrifice 1 male goat for a sin offering and 2 lambs, each a year old, for a fellowship offering. The priest is to wave the 2 lambs before the Lord as a wave offering together with the bread of the first fruit. They are a sacred offering to the Lord for the priest. On that day, you are to proclaim a sacred assembly and do not regular work. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come wherever you live. When you reap the harvest of your land, do not reap the very edge of your field or gather the gleaning of your harvest. Leave them for the poor and the alien. I am the Lord your God. Up next is Feast of Trumpets. The Lord said to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, on the first day of the seventh month, you are to have a day of rest, a sacred assembly commemorated with trumpet blasts. Do no regular work, but present an offering made to the Lord by fire." Day of Atonement. The Lord said to Moses, "The 10th day of the seventh month is the Day of Atonement. Hold a sacred assembly and deny yourselves and present an offering made to the Lord by fire. Do no work on the day because it is the Day of Atonement. when atonement is made for you before the Lord your God. Anyone who does not deny himself on that day must be cut off from his people. I will destroy from among his people anyone who does any work on that day. You shall do no work at all. This is to be a lasting ordinance for the generations to come, wherever you live. It is a Sabbath of rest for you, and you must deny yourselves from the evening of the ninth day of the month until the following evening are to observe the Sabbath. Next up is the Feast of Tabernacles. So the Lord said to Moses, say to the Israelites, on the 15th day of the seventh month, the Lord's Feast of Tabernacles begins, and it lasts for 7 days. The first day is a sacred assembly. Do no regular work. For 7 days, present offerings made to the Lord by fire, and on the eighth day, hold a sacred assembly and present an offering made to the Lord by fire. It is the closing assembly. Do no work. These are the Lord's appointed feasts, which you are to proclaim sacred assemblies for bringing offerings made to the Lord by fire. The burnt offerings and grain offerings, sacrifices, and drink offerings require for each day. These offerings are in addition to those for the Lord's Sabbath, and in addition to your gifts and whatever you have vowed, and all the free will offerings you give to the Lord. So, beginning with the 15th day of the seventh month, after you have gathered the crops of the land, celebrate the festival to the Lord for 7 days. The first day is a day of rest, and the eighth day also is a day of rest. On the first day, you are to take choice fruit from the tree and palm fronds, leaf branches, leafy branches, and popular, and rejoice before the Lord your God for 7 days. Celebrate as a festival to the Lord for 7 days each year. This is to be lasting ordinance for the generations to come. Celebrate it in the seventh month. Live in booths for 7 days. All native born Israelites are to live in booths, so your descendants will know that I had the Israelites live in booths when I brought them out of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses announced to the Israelites the appointed feast of the Lord. All right, that's going to do it for tonight. Tomorrow night we'll be doing Leviticus 24, oil and bread set before the Lord. They also have blasphemers stoned. So that's what will be for tomorrow night. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you all have a good night. Kevin, if you're in here, hello. Mara, if you're in replay, hello. Everyone else, hello. But that's going to do it. Hopefully come back tomorrow and we'll be doing Leviticus 24. We'll see you later. Bye.